Affirmative Action, brought to you by Jabry Bayless. For the purpose of this presentation, we will briefly describe affirmative action, the beginning of affirmative action, for legal court cases, statistics around affirmative action, and how affirmative action pertains to diversity. Affirmative action is an action or policy favoring those who tend to suffer from discrimination, especially in relation to employment or education. Shirley Wilcher says affirmative action programs encompass more than outreach and recruitment, and it is an effort to break down barriers for equal opportunity. Going back in time, President John F. Kennedy coined the term affirmative action in 1961. He states, "Take affirmative action to ensure that applicants are employed and that employees are treated during employment without regard to their race, creed, color, or national origin." Shortly after, in 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson signs the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, or national origin. Gender was soon added by executive order in 1967. Moving forward, we will now look at court cases, beginning with University of California versus Bake in 1978. Alan Bake, a white male student, believes that University of California is using reverse discrimination by not accepting him into medical school because they are using the quota system to obtain minority students. Later on, in 1978, Supreme Court ruled that using racial quotas violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. We will look at the University of Michigan. In 2003, Gratz versus Bollinger, Supreme Court ruled the University of Michigan point system for undergraduate admissions was unconstitutional. The point system looked something like this. Students received 150 points. Just to name a few, they received 20 points for race, 20 points for athletic ability, admissions essay was 3 points, leadership service is 5 points, and personal achievement was 5 points. Moving forward, Grutter versus Bollinger, Supreme Court ruled that colleges and universities are allowed to utilize race in the admissions process. In 2013, Fisher versus University of Texas, the Supreme Court ruled universities are allowed to consider race in the admissions process to achieve diversity. Let's look at some statistics. And the map to the left shows some states that have banned affirmative action and some battleground states for affirmative action. Specifically in California, Prop 209 was passed in 1996. This was a ban on affirmative action in the college admissions process. The minority student population dropped for the University of California's admissions. African American students at 73% in 1996 fell to 57% to 2010. Latino students was at 82% in 1996 and fell to 76% in 2010. Compared to Asian American students who rose from 80% in 1996 to 85% in 2010, and white students kind of remained constant throughout this time period at 83%. Lastly, we'll look at affirmative action and diversity. In the Fisher versus University of Texas case, affirmative action is a means to achieve diversity. Manning states that diversity is a numerical representation of various racial, ethnic, and gender groups. With that said, affirmative action lends itself to the equal opportunity in employment and education for underrepresented populations, and Delgado stated that affirmative action programs are aimed at creating a diverse and intellectual environment, which means affirmative action and diversity are kind of on the same wavelength. But I want you to think about it for yourself. Is affirmative action an effort to increase diversity?